to sit back and chill. We're going to chat. I have some things I want to talk about. And I quite frankly just love to do this. This is like the foundation of my channel, is sitting back and chatting. I consider it a pleasure to be able to sit here and chat with you. If I don't show you exactly indeed what I'm using, it's always listed in the description bar. So this morning I dropped my kids off at VBS. And if you're not sure what VBS is, it's Vacation Bible School. They have 3 full days of fun. Games, worship music, hanging out with friends, eating, learning about God, and just having so much fun. And I'm so excited for them. It's a fun time for them to get to, meet new children that aren't in their school. The church is in a different part of the city, and so it's an opportunity for them to mingle with a whole new bunch of people and just have so much fun. And it also gives me a few more days here to myself. I actually have to go and get my husband's car waxed today, which you're like, well, why don't you do that yourself? I've actually never waxed a car, and I figure I don't mind paying somebody to do a convenience fee, I guess it would be. Things that I don't really know a lot about or know how to do, I would rather pay somebody to do it right than me probably mess it up. So, I don't think we've ever had his car waxed. Sorry, I have 2 mirrors going here. This one's kind of bright. And being that we're in the south, the sun just bakes away the paint, and I do not want that to happen prematurely. So, I am going to go and do that, and that is something that you have to drop the car off and just kind of wait. And I'm like, well, this is a good opportunity to do that without children. I really like the CC cream. I didn't used to love it when I lived in Colorado, and this was also when I was younger. Not that long ago, but my skin is a lot drier than it used to be, so I don't know if I attribute that to me using retinol more consistently. Probably that coupled with age, like aging and losing out on some of the natural oils in my face. Should I zoom you in? I'm sorry, we just keep playing musical filming locations, but I quite frankly get bored of the same old thing. And because I set my stuff up every time, it's like, well, why should I keep setting it up in the same spot? And quite honestly, the honest truth is I didn't want to make my bed today, so I'm like, well, we'll just have you face this direction. This is just the Alginus Liquid Collagen. I like to put this on every morning and then every evening. But before I'm going to do my lips, like my lip product at the end, I put this on so it can soak in, but this just kind of helps plump up the chickenpox scar that just quite frankly ruins every single lipstick, lip look. It ruins it. I just realized I forgot to do my primer, but that's okay because I'll just go in and set my face for a little extra moisture. I'm going to double up my highlighter today, and I'm going to use the Hollywood Flawless filter for like a liquid situation. Really been enjoying a very natural looking skin, but perfected. Oh, it's so pretty. It's very understated. It's not really something that translates, I don't know. I think it just looks healthy. Just like that glow without glitter. And I've been finding as I'm aging, I like less glitter. Even on my eyes, I like less glitter because I find that it falls down and then it gets stuck in my pores or my crevices and it just doesn't look so great. All right, guys, so not last night, but the night before, I was ruthless. And I went through all of my makeup and boy, did I make a dent. Like, I still have a lot of makeup, I think. Probably more than the average woman. Maybe not more than the average YouTube viewer, because I feel like we all at this point have accumulated a lot of things. And honestly, I feel like it's only because I have watched YouTube and like the whole materialism thing kind of came out of me starting to watch YouTube, because prior to that, I was never really materialistic. Like, I've always liked clothes. I've always bought a lot of clothes and shoes. Those are my 2 things that I always spent my money on. Even from the earliest days of me working, like in high school, I started working at 14. And prior to that, I did like babysitting and stuff like that for money. And even prior to that, when I would get my allowance, I would spend my money on silly things like Beanie Babies and stuffed animals. Oh my gosh, it's so many. And it's like, I can't get mad at my daughter who wants to do the same thing, because it's like, well, I did that. But it's like, honey, you don't need any more stuffed animals. They just sit there, I feel like, obviously we know that the world is materialistic and is always telling you you need this or you need that or whatever. But those aren't the things you actually need. Those are definitely wants. And it kind of gets to a point where you have so much that it's not even exciting or fun anymore. Like, I would open my makeup drawers and be so overwhelmed and feel so much guilt that I bought all this. And then I would almost like give the blush a feeling. And I would feel like the blush felt left out because I wasn't using it because I had so many. So that's why I've always tried to rotate my makeup, because it's like I have to justify to myself that you bought this, you need to use it kind of thing. I'm just using the By Terry Hydro Powder. So anyways, I'm like, this is ridiculous, you know, and I've been feeling that way for the past few years, and I voiced that here on my channel. But I feel now more than ever like, okay, enough is enough. We need to slow the roll. I know this goes against like the whole YouTube thing where you have new products, you make a video, it gains you subscribers, it gains you exposure, it gains growth, and I'm like doing the exact opposite. But at the same time, it's like I have to stay true to myself, because for me it's only perpetuating the problem, and it's inhibiting me from growing in other aspects of my life, because I've spent so much time and money on stuff that I've kind of neglected, honestly, what really matters, which is your inner self, right? Because when you put so much time and thought and resources into growing yourself, essentially, but growing yourself from the world's point, not necessarily growing from an inward point. And so I don't know if I'm lacing my thoughts together here, but basically what I'm saying is I decluttered, I feel lighter, I feel better, I feel a little bit guilty, a little bit like, why did you buy all this in the first place? And it was almost like, okay, I have to do my makeup while I do this, so we're going to be here for 10 years. I'm going to use the Hourglass bronzer here. So I'm looking at everything that I'm decluttering, and I'm like, wow, why did you buy all this stuff? And if I really think about why do you buy anything? Like, do you buy it because you need it? Do you buy it because you're sad? Do you buy it because you're lonely? Do you buy it because you're bored? It's kind of like, why do you eat? Do you eat because you're hungry? Do you eat because you're bored? And I know for me, a huge bulk of my makeup purchasing, yes, was influenced, but I take full responsibility for it, because a bulk of it happened when my husband was deployed. And so it was filling the void of something to do, boredom. You know, like, there's a whole bunch of things that happen to you emotionally when you're going through deployments and stuff. So maybe we'll talk a little bit about military life here today. I was trying to think, what can we talk about while I get ready? And there's a lot of things I can talk about, right? But I want to make sure that what I'm talking about is helpful, positive, encouraging, and not just me spewing negativity and just how I feel, because that's not very helpful to you. And I want to make sure that every time you click on one of my videos, like, there's an interaction, and I want it to be a positive one. So I'm gonna dust. I might regret this because I don't really need powder, but I love how this It Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores Pressed, which is usually in my purse, it blurs the pores. For me, I realized that, and I knew this before, but it takes time to admit something to yourself. Like, I believed a lot of lies about myself for a really long time. And it's hard to admit to yourself that, okay, I'm believing something that's not true, or I'm being deceived, because you feel like, well, I'm a failure, and why didn't I see this clearer before? But anyways, I fairly admitted to myself that, you know, I would shop or buy stuff to fill voids, but that stuff never actually filled the void, because if it had, that one time of shopping would have been it. I wouldn't have kept doing it. Like, I would have been satisfied, right? Well, it satisfies for a moment. It's such a fleeting moment, too. And then it becomes a pile of stuff. And then it becomes a hindrance. And it's like, well, now I have too many blushes. Like, why did I buy all these? I can't wear all these. And like I've said before, makeup's not an investment. This isn't something you buy a lot of for return on value. Like, it goes bad. It starts molding. It starts rotting, you know? Okay. We're just going to keep layering. This is the Hourglass Luminous Light Powder. This makes the most beautiful, understated, barely there highlighter. I love it. If you want something that's not going to emphasize texture, maybe a redness going on, maybe a little sunburn like me, this is gorgeous. So some of you might be asking, well, why don't you film a declutter video? No. And I'll tell you why. A few reasons. Number one, I don't want to make anybody feel bad who has sent me something, who has given me something. I don't want to make anybody feel bad because it's not about them, okay? It's about me, what works best for me and what I use the most of. And makeup is totally opinion. Like, that's why I might love this and you might have this and be like, I don't like that at all. That's cool. It's nobody's fault. That's just how you feel about it. And so I don't want to have to justify in the comments why I'm doing this or why I'm doing that. Number two, I can't be stopped. When I get in a mood to get rid of, watch out or you might be getting kicked out of my house. Like, I'm in it. I'm in the zone. I'm getting it done and I don't want to take the time to have to film it. Just know, I guess for your sake, whenever you see me using things on here, these are the things that made it through. So that means that these are awesome products and you don't have to fear that, oh, does she really like that? Oh yeah, she really likes that. That's why it's still in her collection. This is going to be one of those instances where possibly you can't get this anymore. Now, I had heard through the grapevine, and I don't know if this is true or not, that Laura Gellar, I know it's not sold on Ulta anymore. Excuse me. Is it being discontinued or is she just pulling out of the Ulta retailer? Is she quitting her line? I'm not sure. But anyways, I'm going to use this really gorgeous peach blush. Don't feel like you need this. In fact, I don't even know if you can get this. But here's another thing about this whole community. Is this too dark? I don't want to drag out my umbrella lights. I was trying to cheat. Like skirt around here. Any shade that looks like this will give you this kind of look. But you also have to keep in mind your skin tone is different than mine. So to get a similar look, you might even actually have to use a different color. See what I'm saying? So don't feel like you need the exact thing I'm using. This is a gorgeous blush color though. This came in a kit from QVC. That's another thing. If you get stuck on that QVC, they'll take you for a ride. See, when my kids were really little, and we're talking 2 that really couldn't talk yet, 2 under 2, when you're in the throes of diapers, and you're still breastfeeding, you're barely sleeping, that kind of thing, QVC, for me, would be my way of hanging out with real life people when I, in all actuality, was stuck in my house. Because there are definite parts of this military lifestyle that can be lonely. However, you don't have to let that be how you feel every day. You have to choose to live beyond how you feel in this kind of lifestyle. Because if you go according to your feelings, you're going to be a hot mess. Trust me, been there. I know what it's like. And so anyways, I would listen to QVC, and then of course, they're convincing. Like, they tell you need everything, right? So I'd buy stuff that I didn't necessarily need. Now, sometimes I would buy really great things, okay? But there were a few instances in the wee hours of nursing that, I may have bought something that I really didn't need, but they told me, like, it's going to be fantastic and it's going to change my life. Also, let me just tell you, I'm absolutely loving a very wild, crazy brow. Like something that mimics my natural curve, but fills in, but isn't overly, like, I am not into what I tried to be into, which was copying what everybody else was doing. And along this YouTube journey, I have so many things I could share with you. For me personally, a personal journey of things that I've learned about myself from doing this, and things that I found myself doing and getting kind of swept up in, and then pulling back and realizing, whoa, take off the blinders. What was I thinking, kind of thing. Me filling in my eyebrows to look like is one of them. I think when you're in your room and you're looking in a mirror and you're just so used to seeing people on YouTube and just consuming YouTube, right? And consuming artistry from that era, that part. You know, makeup artistry is huge, and YouTube is just a small aspect of it. And so, like, just getting used to seeing people do their eyebrows a certain way, or this influencer told you to do it this way, so they have a lot of subscribers, they're cool, they must know what they're talking about, kind of thing. And kind of throwing out what you actually like. That's kind of what I was doing. And then I realized, you know what? Why am I doing this? I look ridiculous. This isn't even me. I've tried other eyeshadow primers that are way more expensive, and I don't see a purpose in spending $20-some on an eyeshadow primer when this Milani eyeshadow primer is like $5.99 and it does the exact same thing. It holds it on exactly the same. Like, I've tried Urban Decay, I've tried NARS, I've tried Laura Gellar, I've tried a lot. Like, why? This works just as well. I'm going to set my face here with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water. And you don't need one of those bougie fans either. My son gave me this. He got this from church. Just a cute little fan. I'm like, honey, thank you so much for giving this to me, because this is absolutely perfect for drying off my face when I put my makeup on. So in the process of decluttering, something that I will never declutter, and I honestly always go back to, when I pack a palette to travel with, I always pack an assortment of MAC and Makeup Geek eyeshadows in a palette. And so today I grabbed this palette, which is a lot of warmer, sorry, I have this brightness brighter because it's so dark in here. Just summery colors, more golden colors, there's neutrals, there's pinks, there's bronzes, and so I thought we would just kind of play around in this. What do we want to start with? I just realized there's not a single matte shade in here, and so we're just gonna do something bronzy and shimmery all over, cause whatever. What color is this? Yogurt? That's too pink. Oh, this is pretty. I'm gonna take this glamorous color from Makeup Geek. Just a nice, I don't know, what would you deem that shade? Golden bronze color. And I don't know, we're not gonna do anything crazy. I'm just gonna take a brush and sweep that all over my lid. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take my bronzer and run that through my crease. You know, if you were gonna pack a weekend palette or like a weekend bag of makeup, you wouldn't even necessarily need to bring eyeshadow, because you can use your highlighter for your lid shade and your bronzer for your crease shade. I'll tell you what, when we move, like, everything gets packed, and so our vehicles are so full of stuff that I try to keep my personal items, all of our personal items, to like 1 or 2 bags for the 4 of us, including clothes we need for a few weeks and stuff. And so my makeup really gets very minimal. We're talking a brow product, a mascara, a CC cream, a bronzer, a highlighter, because I can double up those as eye products. And even like lipstick, in a pinch, you can absolutely use that as blush. Or just skip. You could skip blush, actually, and just do like a light bronze look, depending on if you're comfortable with that or not, like if you like that. But you can do it ever so softly, just to create a little, you just want to create definition in your face, you know? Because after you put on that foundation, it really just brings you down to like a flat, I almost said like monotone, but like a flat 0 dimensions, so it just adds a little bit of life back in there. So I'm going to take the bronzer, and this is the Chit-Chaturday GSN 10 brush. Love this brush. This is one of my must-have brushes. Love it for the crease. It is a little bit fluffier, like it's not as pinched as a MAC 217 would be, or something of the sort. But because it's a little bit fluffier, it works really well to apply color and blend. And if you like to apply shadow like me, which is a little bit, you know, just whatever, just throw it on and be done with it, not like perfected or whatever, this works really well. Then I'm going to take a pencil brush and actually use that same bronzer and do a little bit of shadow liner. I should have said this in the beginning, but thank you guys so much for all of your just really nice comments on the last Get Ready With Me, where I asked you what kind of videos you wanted to see, and just for your outpouring of support. of just my channel in general. And I know I said I don't want to like spew negativity and how I feel, but sometimes it might come across that way. But at the same time, I'm human. And I don't want you to forget that just because you're on the other side of this video. I want to say how I feel because I also know what it feels like to listen to somebody say things that you have in your mind, but like putting a voice to it, and then that helps you recognize and maybe even, you know, feel comforted in a sense that you're not going through something alone, or that you almost feel heard, even though they have no idea, you know, that you're listening and that you might feel the same way. And of course, we all like to be comfortable. Not for too long, though. If you get comfortable too long and park somewhere, you might miss out on your whole life. I'm going to curl these lashes, which I've been finding has really helped my mascara out when I take the time to curl my lashes. I actually think I want to put on some false lashes today. It's been a while. I always like the look of it when I do it. I just don't always want to take the time to do it. So I'm opening up these Ardell Studio Effects Wispies. And I ordered them from Amazon and they came in a pack, so they're all full of tape and all that. So give me a second here. I probably should do an inner corner highlight actually. Let's do this. Well, Honey Lust from MAC. It's really pretty and shiny. Probably not the best inner corner highlight because it's kind of chunky, but whatever. So I took the lash off, and it's going to be too long, so you're going to want to trim. Oh, hey, these ones have like brown hairs in them. Oh, cool. You're going to want to trim the outside. So you're going to want to set it on your eye. You know, kind of see where all it needs to, that looks dragged, does it not? Where all it needs to be trimmed, and I usually have to trim a good chunk off. I'm going to use the Kiss Strip Lash Adhesive with aloe. This one's formaldehyde free and latex free. The latex causes my lash line to break out in a little rash, so I like to use something without latex. Which the doctor always asks you, are you allergic to any latex or anything? And for my body, no. But apparently for my eyes, yes. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of mascara on because my natural lashes are not as dark as these false ones, so I like to make them, you know, marry a little better. So I like to get a little bit of darkness at the root of the lash. All right, do a little bit of accessorizing here. I just threw on this, I don't know where I got this. This is just a plain black leather, pleather, fake leather, I don't know, I don't think it's real, cord or something like that. And then I love the style of these Kendra Scott earrings. I actually was just telling myself in the closet, I need these in silver. I like silver jewelry. I find silver to be very good for every day, and it's more my preference. If I had to choose between gold and silver, I would choose silver because I think it complements my skin a little more. So we're just going to go for a black hoop because I didn't have silver. But I do like these in black, actually. I think they can be very elegant, or just, you know, like I'm wearing a black maxi dress. If I can find this dress, I'll link it below too because I love it. I have it in blue and black. I got them on sale last year at Nordstrom, but maybe they still make it. It's by the brand Lush. Okay, and for lips, okay, don't hate me, but I want to use this up. So the OG Too Faced Nude Lip Liner. I'm sure they still make lip liners, but this is the Perfect Lips Perfect Nude. Quite frankly, it's such a good shade of nude. It's got a slight pinky beige undertone. And then I found this in my MAC lipsticks. So I was ruthless with my MAC lipsticks, and a lot of them were kind of gross. This one's kind of borderline. It doesn't smell terrible. This is from the Cinderella collection. Looks like this. And it's called Royal Ball. It's a luster formulation. And it's like a nice soft nude, and it has the smallest bits of shimmer in it. Now this is not what I normally wear, but I really just wanted to go for it today. I hate to admit it, but I'm a fan of kind of frosty lips. I know. I like just a little. I mean, not overkill frost, and it might be dated or whatever, but this is where makeup comes in as like an expression of what you like. Now, if it's not flattering, I think this is flattering in person. Maybe it's a little bit powdered sugar donut. Maybe it's a little bit too much donut. Is there such a thing? I'm going to do a little something darker to mix with it. Still wear what you like. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't wear it because, unless it's a legit reason, like if they're looking out for your best interest, like, girl, you should not be wearing that mini skirt. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if you like red lipstick, wear red lipstick. This is a good one from MAC. It's called Modesty. This is a cream sheen, so similar formula, a little bit more opaque than a luster. This is like a fave. I really gotta layer the lipstick because my lips are so opaque that in order to cancel out some of the redness, we have to go over it a few times. Okay, I can drive with this. I like this. Feeling a little 90s right now and I'm not hating it. Hey, I'm a child of the 90s. Born in the 80s, child of the 90s. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this. Do you like these longer videos? Let me know in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up because I really don't like to edit out too much. I like to really just keep it raw and real, and I feel like that is the most fun. I think the most fun happens when you just let yourself kick back and just relax, you know? So thank you guys for joining me. I hope to chat with you very soon.